How's everybody doing? St. Philip South. True St. Philip spirit. The Republic has come to town. Barbados, let me first start by saying I want you to bear with me in thanking the people of St. Philip South for giving me the opportunity to serve this country that we all love and we all want to see do better. I also want to thank all of you for giving us, the government of Barbados and the Barbados Labour Party, the opportunity to serve you, the people, by reposing your confidence in us with all 30 seats in this country. I also want to say to you, Barbados, that you have made our job very difficult, because the one thing that we intend to do is to make sure we do not leave anyone standing by. And in our quest to make sure we do what is right by you, the people of Barbados, we have, as a cabinet and a responsible government of Barbados, made sure that we kept our promise to you by dealing with those critical mission items that we said we would deal with first, and then the transformational programs will kick in. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be part of a government and to be part of a cabinet that gave a promise and is keeping its promise to you. I want to say to you, times are not easy. We will complain. Whenever you feel the pinch and you feel some pain, you're going to squeeze and holler and say, Lord, have mercy. But this is all for a better Barbados and for a better people. I am acutely aware in Barbados that there are the naysayers, and we will forever have the naysayers among us. But we are saying to you, stay the course, because we are confident in what we are doing, and we are passing all of the right road signs so far. And if we are to stay the course, Barbados Labour Party supporters, my first advice to you is to stay together. Do not be distracted. Do not allow the voices of discord to force you to have to pull down the people who are representing your best interests. Many of us may feel that we are not getting what we were hoping for, but the hand that we have been dealt has been a very difficult one. And when we came into government, ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of things we saw that we had to first correct. But what it is we have done as a government to make sure we are looking after you, the people of Barbados. We have said that we were going to make sure we preserve our currency peg, and we have done that. We've said we were going to restore our sovereign credit ratings, and we have done that. We've given a 5% salary increase. We've increased non-contributory pensions. We have now given a reverse tax credit of $1,300. We have given you free tertiary education, and we have made sure that we stabilize this country and stop the bleeding. I have been given the task of working through the Ministry of Agriculture in your best interests. Let me first start by saying I want to thank the team that I'm working with at the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, because this is not about Indar Weir alone. And the reality of what we are doing at the Ministry of Agriculture must take all hands on deck in order for us to do the heavy lifting. I had come to the Ministry of Agriculture to find a ministry that has been dormant for 10 years. And when I say dormant, I mean absolutely nothing worked. My first order of business was to make sure I shut out the noise. And believe you me, there was lots of noise, and I'm still getting a lot of noise. I decided that my first objective was to make sure that I stay focused. And I referred to the manifesto of the Barbados Labour Party in order that I may get this government's promise right to you, the people of Barbados. And what did I do? I examined the manifesto and I juxtaposed that manifesto to what people are calling for in agriculture. And I want to say to you, the people of Barbados, don't be fooled for one moment that they think that you can just wake up one morning and transform a sector in this country as if it is eating sweet bread. It is not going to happen. And we have a reality that we must face. My reality is simply this. We had a sugarcane industry, a lot of talk all over Barbados, going down to Andrews and set up a multi-purpose factory, doing all these things, but nothing happened except a court junction that stopped the project. And huge sets of money borrowed through the Answer Merchant Bank, $24 million that we still have to account for, a contract given to a company where we don't have anything to report, but that we had a ministry that has been chalking up expenditure after expenditure, ran a bond to the tune of over $100 million carried on the BAMC books. These are all the things that I, as a minister, had to grapple with. And I've done so in a very seamless and calm way, because I don't believe that a lot of noise will solve our problems. And to solve the problem, I came to the ministry and I said, look, my first order of priority will be the farmers. Let us have consultation. I met with the farmers. They had their grievances and I listened. But I could not, as a reasonable person, ask them to continue and then pay the outstanding debt to the farmers. So when I was presented with over $18 million that we had to satisfy, it became very, very, very acute to me that these people were being ignored. And I did the right thing by my conscience and by the government of Barbados by making sure we paid down that debt. And that I restored the confidence of the farmers so that you, the people of Barbados, didn't have to wake up every morning bombarded with a calling program. Farmers can't start the crop. They ain't getting no money. This is the first time in many, many years that a sugarcane crop started on time in Barbados under my stewardship. This is the first time that you're not seeing farmers on the front page of the newspaper complaining that they are not starting the crop until they are paid. This is the first time that we haven't had issues with negotiating the price for sugar per ton. This is the first time that we haven't had the unions jumping all over us because of a sugarcane crop that we needed to start. But it doesn't end there. For me, that was the low-hanging fruit. We have more to do. And I am on record in Parliament. I'm also on record in every newspaper that would have carried it. I'm on record on VOB in speaking with David Ellis on the Sagicor Morning Business, where I made it clear that we are going to transition from sugar to a sugarcane industry in Barbados, where you're going to get increased production of sugar, increased production of molasses for our rum industry, and a renewable energy plant, so that not only the farmers would benefit, but every last Barbadian who's interested in part of the ownership structure of this country can come forward and purchase shares in that project, giving you, the people of Barbados, in addition to the farmers, ownership in the sugarcane industry of Barbados. I have inherited a contract by a company that has been invited to Barbados. And you could think of the vulgarity of what took place under the previous chairman at BAMC. When a company could have been brought to Barbados, a foreign entity, to sell sugar to Barbadians, what madness is this? And that they're selling sugar to Barbadians, asking the BAMC to produce all grade A sugar, which will be retailed at a higher price, so any sugar that is coming to Barbados will beat the grade A sugar, and they can't provide the volume of exports that we need in Barbados to represent what they have been asking for. We have then had to make a conscious decision with what we are going to do with all that sugar in the bond. And I have made it my business to work through the BAMC to say this must end, and it must end. And I've said, look, this transformation that we are going for, we would need a consultant on board. And we have a consultant on board. And we are working with the farmers equally. We are working with the rum producers. And we are working to make sure that you, the people of Barbados, will also be able to participate in a sugarcane industry that gives you the chance to hold shares, so that when we get to renewable energy, which will definitely be a game changer, you will be part of the plan, your children will be part of the plan, and your grandchildren will be part of the plan. And if that is not doing what is right by Barbadians, tell me what is. I've also gone ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and I have said, listen, we have heard enough about predatory larceny in Barbados. Wherever you go, people are complaining. Now, I'm very clear. I do not speak for the sake of speaking. Some may like me, some may not. But so is life. Jesus Christ was crucified. But our reality is simply this. Farmers, you have stake in this. You got skin in this game. And the government can only take you so far. But I have said to you that we will not come back and address predatory larceny unless you participate in the reform that we're looking for. And so we will have a consultation this week at the Savannah Hotel with all the farmers and all stakeholders so that I can take your input. We will address the issues of predatory larceny in Barbados once and for all. And we have several options available to us, all of which I am open to. But I will dare not speak for myself, pretend that I know it all for myself, and consult myself. So I am consulting all the farmers in Barbados. You have a chance to come to the Savannah Hotel, and when we go back to do the reform to the legislation, all of you will know that we're doing so based on what you have said. I've heard a number of things. I've heard bring in the defense force. Okay. But there's technology. And we can use GPS. We can use radio signals. We can use mobile phone apps. We have surveillance cameras that you can use. We must have manpower. There's no question about it. But at the end of the day, the legislation will speak to how we empower farmers, but that we will not ignore the breeding ground for which predatory larceny takes place. Because it is not a man waking up every morning to some form of worthlessness and decide he got thief a man crop. The reality of it is that people in Barbados are looking for means for survival, and I'm not condoning anything that anybody does that goes against or runs afoul of the law. But I'm saying if we are to speak in ignoring the breeding ground where all these things take place, we are setting ourselves up for failure, and I will not be part of that. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I did not stop there. I said to the people of Barbados, we will change the conversation in this country all across Barbados. When I was canvassing, I said this is time for a new conversation. And in the new conversation, what did I do? To make sure we are addressing issues of food security, I worked with my team at the ministry and representing what was in our manifesto. We have now designed a program called the Farmers Empowerment and Enfranchisement Drive, which gives every single Barbadian, especially those ones who are considered to be outside of the tent, people who were part of the retrenchment program, to now come forward and be trained in using technology in farming, where you can set up aquaponics, where you can set up hydroponics, where you can get involved in apiculture, what is known as beekeeping. And that through the use of mobile phone apps, you can then manage a farm without having to go to the hot sun. And that when people are trained on these systems, we are about to deliver 2,000 farmers in 3 years to be able to manage electronically operated farms. And that the Prime Minister has agreed with us to do a lease-to-own program so that farmers can get new technologies in farming through freight farming and greenhouses, where the government upfronts the cost, you pay a lease agreement, and at the end of the period, you own it. A lease-to-own project in Barbados. First time in this country, ladies and gentlemen.
Take it back.
What is even more is that we have now introduced scheduled planting so that we don't run into gluts and that we at the same time don't have shortages, and that we are working with the hoteliers, and part of government procurement program up to 60% goes to this program so that every farmer can take his produce to the BADMC without looking back. And it's marketed and you get your money up front. This is what I call agricultural engineering to empower people in Barbados. But it doesn't end there. I have just had the support of our cabinet to start a medicinal cannabis program in Barbados, and I've just returned from Jamaica, and time does not permit. But if you look at the amount of jobs we are going to create, IT, security, jobs for dispensaries. I walked into a dispensary in Jamaica, small, very small. The man told me he employs 68 people at different levels in that small unit. You can imagine 68 people in a small unit doing different things, from delivery to security, to blending, to mixing, to consultations, all of it, the full gamut. The amount of security jobs that will be generated through a medicinal cannabis project in Barbados, where every farm must undergo a high level of security, will blow your mind. And here's opportunity for Barbadians to start businesses in security, opportunities for growers, the Rastafari community of Barbados, an opportunity for you. All the people of Barbados will have a chance to benefit from a project that is going to bring new money to this economy, well over $100 million. And in Jamaica, when you look at the multiplier effect of a cannabis industry, where tourists are walking into dispensaries, where tourists are walking in for rehabilitative services, and you can go on and on and on and on and on with the multiplier effect of an industry where Barbados will be transformed forever. This is a ministry that is working, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a year, but it feels like 12 years because the work we have done so far, and we have more to go. I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, stay the course. Do not allow yourselves to be distracted. Everything could not have happened in the first 6 months. Everything could not have happened in the first year. We are now being faced with changes that are impacting agriculture through climate change. And as we approach climatic events, and I've been speaking to this forever, the droughts that have impacted the sugarcane industry, where the yield is now done, we have to address that by introducing new varieties of sugarcane. The drought that will impact agriculture in terms of food security. I have just introduced the feed program, which is less water intensive. So we don't have to use excessive amounts of water in a hydroponic farm. And I have also spoken to the issue of getting our farmers ready for a new dawn in agriculture in Barbados, where technology must be at the core. I have met with the poultry producers. I've said to them openly and frankly, and they can tell you, they have had the most meetings with me. And I've said to them, look, the issue in Barbados cannot only be chicken wings. The people that sell chicken wings is a man at a football match with a trolley. The person in a shop doing karaoke. The guy that goes to reggae festival or reggae on the hill and decides to break a piece of change rather than breaking somebody's house. I cannot ban the importation of chicken wings. Neither can I speak to the reduction of the importation until somebody is willing to come forward and fill the void. And as a responsible human being, where I understand that Barbados must find a way to participate and be part of the economic structure of this country, I refuse to pursue any conversation where I am going to stop, reduce, ban chicken wings from coming into Barbados or turkey wings unless you can give me the alternative. I have a very good open relationship with the poultry farmers. I want James Paul to know that when he is constantly making this noise about chicken wings, you got to understand the poor people. That you claim to be part of a party that said that you stand for poor people, and that you want to ask me to come and tell Barbadians you can no longer sell chicken wings. I can't do it unless there's an alternative. And I'm sure the poultry farmers understand me. I will now seek to consult with the dairy farmers and the beef producers of Barbados. But my conversation will not change in this country. If I cannot see the numbers to justify the action, go away and get the information ready and come back and present it. I am not having generic conversations at a time when I watch my people suffering. I will not be empowering upon empowering when I know that I have people in Barbados, in my constituency, and right across this nation that gave us 30 seats that we have to take care of. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm obliged to you. I want to thank you. I'm happy for the opportunity to serve you. I promise you, you will get from me what is clean, what is honest, nothing more, all for a better Barbados. Good night. May God bless you. May God bless Barbados. May God bless our Prime Minister and our Cabinet and our Parliament colleagues. Thank you.